But we push it away anyway because we cannot bear the pain of being hurt again. And so we form very formidable defense mechanisms that's really, truly hurting our ability to connect with people. Everything's brewing right now, conspiring to work out for you. Hi, it's time to just talk about everything that's on my mind. I'm bothered right now, and I'm not sure why. Whenever I feel like I'm abandoned, that I just want to push everyone away. I think that little Christine has been hurt one too many times. And she formed the belief that, you know what, fuck everybody. I've got this shit on my own. Seriously, I feel bad for my little self because she doesn't know any better. She's hurt. And as much as I want to hate and push away my emotions instead of just feeling them, I'm choosing. I'm making a very, very powerful choice to feel all that I've got to feel. I get to feel the emotions revolving around being abandoned. The fact of the matter is, no one can abandon me because I got myself. Point blank, period. I've got myself. Have I forgotten? Have you forgotten, Kay, that you are your own best friend? This is not saying that, in a negative way, like, oh, it's me against the world, but more to remind myself that at the end of the day, I will never be forsaken, ever, ever. I will never be forsaken because I've got myself. I can trust and lean on others. I can connect with them and show them who I really am. I can still be vulnerable. I really can. And I know that beyond a shadow of a doubt that everything is fine and all is well. That is what I wrote to myself. I just journaled this about 10 minutes ago and I was going to talk about something completely different. But you know what? I feel like talking about this right now and I feel like it is a very big issue. This having abandonment wounds. And I believe that far too many of us have abandonment wounds and we're traumatized. We're dealing with it in what we believe are healthy ways, but really they're not serving us as much as we think that they are. Having abandonment wounds probably meant that you had to figure shit out by yourself and that you were let down a lot of times growing up and maybe even in your adult life. And somewhere along the way, you told yourself, you know what, fuck it. Fuck it. I don't need anybody. Okay. Because everybody just lets me down anyway. I can't trust nobody. Okay. Because all the times that I've chosen to hand my trust to somebody, they failed me. They failed me miserably and they left me crumbled on the floor, crying, trying to pick up the goddamn pieces of my broken heart. Okay. And I've done this over and over and over and over again to know that no one can be trusted. No one really cares. No one's got me like that. So that's one way to deal with the traumas of being abandoned and neglected and rejected. Okay. You form this Superman, Superwoman complex. All right. And you vow to yourself to never get hurt again. Okay. And the thing is, that's very detrimental. And I don't think we realize how detrimental it is until we realize that in our adulthood, it's fucking hard to connect with other people. And let me tell you something. It is human tendency and everyone's desire to be able to connect on a very, very, very deep level, on a genuine level, on a soul level. But let me ask you, how are we supposed to connect with other people when we don't give them the opportunity to? When we're constantly living with such guards up. Okay, we form the best defense mechanism so that nobody, absolutely nobody, can cross that boundary and hurt us. So, what we end up doing is we tend to self sabotage. Okay, when things get good, when they have the potential to get good, we get afraid. We become afraid, and then we tend to push them away for fear that they might hurt us. So even before anything gets to happen, now we don't know if it's going to be good or bad, right? But We push it away anyway because we cannot bear the pain of being hurt again. And so we form very formidable defense mechanisms that's really truly hurting our ability to connect with people. Okay. And I'm not talking about just connecting, in a relationship sense with a partner, with a life partner. I'm talking about forming friendships as well. Okay. Friendships outside of work, inside of work, connections with your family members, even. So we form this belief that we can do it all by ourselves. Okay. These are people who are very independent. All right. They seem like they've got it all together. And you know what? They probably do. All right. Anything that comes, anything that happens, they rather say, fuck asking for help. I'm going to figure it out by myself. And they usually do. But it's at a price. It's at a price. You're not allowing yourself to do what you truly, deeply desire, which is to be seen, to be heard, and to be understood for who you are, all the great things about you, and all the flaws about you. Let me remind you that you are human, and no, you're not perfect, but nobody is. Absolutely nobody on this planet is perfect. Okay, they may make it look like they're perfect on social media, but I promise you, everybody's got their mess. Okay, we are alike in two ways. All of us are connected in two ways. Number one, we're all broken messes and we're all weird as fuck on the inside, okay? If we can just be authentically ourselves, we're weird as fuck to people who are sheep, right? To people who just like to follow the crowd and just like to fit in because they are people pleasers because they just want to be liked. I was one of them, so I get it. To those types of people, anybody who stands out, anybody who is outrageously authentic, right? Because let me remind you, everybody gets to be fucking authentic because there's no better feeling than to show up as yourself, okay? And to be authentic means you are who you are at the core, which is loving, supportive, amazing, powerful, okay? Fun, silly, okay? All the good things. To people who are just following the crowd, who just wants to do things or don't do things just so that they can be liked, yeah, you're gonna come across as being a little weird, okay? But guess what? We're all a little weird on the inside. It's just a matter of how courageous are you to show who you are. And the question is, are you here to be liked? Or are you here to be you? Okay. And number two, right? The number two thing that we all have in common is that we're fucking powerful, right? We are powerful beyond anything that you can ever imagine. I can't even imagine how fucking powerful that I can be when I truly embrace who I'm meant to be, all right, and let go of all this people pleasing, perfection, comparing, out of integrity mess, all right, that I've learned, all right, because of my trauma. Okay, so it's a full circle here. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We don't get to choose what the fuck happened to us, but we get to choose how we are going to operate moving forward. And I know how scary it is to let down your walls and to let other people in because we are really that afraid of getting hurt. And I fucking get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. I really get it. Because I was one to sabotage anything that could have been good. Okay. And my brain automatically started to look for all these flaws, all of these like red flags, right? And then I would convince myself that I don't want that. Actually, that's not good for me. And then I'll kind of back out. But honestly, are you going to do that for the rest of your life? Right? Are you going to do that for the rest of your life? Right? Are you only going to let people come so close? And are you going to keep this fucking boundary, right, between you and everybody else for the rest of your life? Because please let me remind you that you deserve to connect with people. You deserve to be so vulnerable and you deserve to show up as yourself. Okay? Your whole, complete, perfect, worthy, amazing, lovable self. And you get to show up as your weird, authentic self. Okay? Messy, all of the above. You get to be, and I promise you, there are multitudes of people out there who are willing to accept you for who you are. You just need to get out your own damn way. Okay? It is not a badge of honor to say that you're so independent and that you can do anything by yourself and that you don't need any help. No, because we're human and we're gonna drown and we're gonna, feel shitty as fuck because life is gonna happen, right? We get to have human experiences. And when we do, we get to connect and be supported in the most genuine ways. I was taught growing up, you can't rely on anybody. Nobody can solve your problems. But let me tell you something, there is healing power in being vulnerable to somebody and just letting somebody listen and empathize with you. Let me say that again. There is healing power in allowing somebody to connect with you, for you to be vulnerable and say exactly what's on your mind, what's making you sad, what's making you frustrated, what's making you disappointed, what's getting you all riled up, what's getting you all angry, and what you are afraid of. Because we're all human and we all have fears, right? And the best way to move about that is to understand that you're not alone in having these feelings. You're never alone. Whatever you're going through right now, I promise you there is somebody else, all right, that went through it, okay? And the people actually that have gone through the situation that you're going through right now, the majority of them form hardened and jaded hearts, and they would rather protect themselves from ever getting hurt again, by not connecting and by not being vulnerable and acting like everything is okay and never validating their experience and their pain and their feelings. And then there are those who choose to heal in healthy ways. Okay, they feel their feelings, they validate their experience, and they understand that it does not define who they are. And you can never be abandoned. Okay, you can never be abandoned. You can never be forsaken. You can never be rejected if you learn to show up for yourself. And I'm not saying this in the sense where it's like, fuck everybody, I'm here for myself. No, all right. If you just remember that there's this there's this higher power. There's this higher power. You can call it you can call it God, you can call it universe, you can call it Allah, you can call it Buddha. Yo, this higher power's got you. All right. And you must have faith that being abandoned is not even an option. All right. So, whereas your younger self has been through all these trials and tribulations and all these events that have convinced you that you have been abandoned one too many times, the adult you, the more wise you, can understand that those are just circumstances that happen to you, right? And those were the meanings that you formed with everything that you knew in the past. But you get to change that narrative, all right? Because you actually cannot be abandoned. You're fine. So please, please do yourself the biggest favor by learning to connect with others and knowing that people want to support you, people want to love you in your mess, all right? In your mess, in your imperfection. How freeing is that to know that you can show up as yourself and that people will accept you and people will want to help you, all right? And wow, I wasn't even going to talk about that, but that all just kind of spewed out. And I'm glad it did because this is so real and I've struggled with it all my life. And I saw all the ways in which it hindered me from connecting, forming real, genuine connections with friends and with lovers. Okay. All of that is said and done now because I learned how to open up my goddamn heart. All right. And I met the love of my life. I'm married now. And I love being supported by him, although there are still times where I feel like when my abandonment wounds get triggered, I just want to push everything away, everybody away. And it's so easy for me to step into that mindset of, you know what, fuck it all, right? Fuck it all. I refuse to say anything, to do anything that would give anybody the opportunity to hurt me. And I realize it's a survival tactic. It no longer serves me. It doesn't serve you anymore, friend. It really, really doesn't. It doesn't. It's not worth the price. Okay? Um, I love you all. And thank you for tuning into episode 33. I hope you guys find it relatable and helpful. And remember that you are loved, and you can never, ever, ever, ever be abandoned. This I promise you.